What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Action Bronson New Balance 1906R in this Rosewater colorway. Today's video is sponsored by Capsule. Capsule is a brand new product on the market which aims to preserve your sneakers and extend their useful lives by up to 2 times. They target the 2 main reasons why your shoes age, fade, and crumble over time, which is oxidization and hydrolysis. So it's a very simple process. They offer a UV protective pod, which is where you put your sneakers in and store them. And then this is where their secret sauce comes into play. You inject their cartridge into the pod, which contains a scientifically backed preservative, which is the key to extending the life of your sneakers. So this not only pushes out the bad air containing the oxygen as well as the dirt, but then it pushes in that preservative, which is the key to make sure your shoes last that much longer. So this is best used for shoes that you wear maybe sparingly, those grail type sneakers that are usually just sitting in a box on your shelf. So I'll link their website, their social media, all that good stuff down below. So check them out, do your own research, see if it's a product that fits you, and if it does interest you, be sure to remind them that I sent you. So this right here is the much anticipated collaboration between Action Bronson and New Balance. Following his 2 pairs of highly successful 990 V6s, now the multi-talented artist has turned his attention to the New Balance 1906R instead. So this is one of 3 colorways that are set to release, with this one being the debut Rosewater colorway, which dropped back on May 31st. Following this, there was a more limited Scorpius colorway, and then at the time that I'm filming this, they've yet to release, but they are releasing the Medusa Azul colorway as the final of the 3. I don't want to go into too much specifics about how this release went down, but it's safe to say it was an absolutely terrible release. So not only did he release the password to his website early, but it was a very obvious password, and the entire release was just slammed by bots. So it was an absolutely terrible drop, so consider yourself lucky if you were able to cop these without a bot. So this Rosewater colorway released on Action Bronson's website for a price of $185 US, which is approximately 250 Canadian dollars converted. And according to his Instagram stories, the colorway of the shoe is inspired by the apparel and fashion for women's aerobics. And before I forget, the official style code for this shoe is M1906RKL. So first things first, here's a quick look at the packaging. So this comes in a red based cardboard box, and we have this silver iridescent baklava branding on the very top. And then on the side of the box we have both baklava and New Balance co-branding on the bottom left. And inside the box it comes with this orange mesh dust bag that has New Balance branding on the bottom along with the words "specializing in life" on the top. So as far as the shoe goes, jumping right into it, instead of your typical 1906R, I feel like this is a more sleek and stripped down version. So the base layer of the sneaker is constructed out of this honeycomb shaped mesh, which is done in this very pale, slightly yellowed colored tone. Right above this, holding the laces in place, we have this hit of gray colored genuine suede with a silver New Balance end logo. And then overlaid on the mesh itself, instead of your typical 1906R panels, here we have these semi-translucent TPU layers instead, with reflective detailing found throughout. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have this asymmetrical overlay of genuine gray colored suede. And then for the middle 2 eyelets, like any other 1906R, we have these woven straps, which in this case is colored in blue with these 2 lines of reflective layers. And this not only holds the laces in place, but it extends downwards past the New Balance end logo beneath it, all the way to the base of the sneaker. So this is what New Balance calls their end lock technology, which, if you can imagine, when you tighten up the laces, gives you additional support around the midfoot of the sneaker. So like I said, underneath this we have the New Balance end logo, and we have these hot pink or magenta colored underlays, which surround this middle area of the sneaker. Moving downwards, you can see we have 1906R branding found on the lateral side, and then covering the bottom of the heel, we have a magenta colored TPU heel cup, which gives you additional structure and support for the back end of the sneaker. In the middle, we have NB branding, along with this orange colored mesh beneath this. Attached to the shoe, it comes with this rubberized hang tag. And then for the laces, these only come with 1 lace option, which was a bit of a surprise to me, but they're a thin rope style lace done in this neon green color. Underneath this, we have a padded tongue, which is constructed out of a magenta colored mesh. And then fused onto the top of the tongue, we have this translucent tag with baklava New Balance 1906R branding. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is covered in a gray colored mesh. And then for the insoles, these come with a decently padded foam lined insole. It's covered in black on the top, and we have baklava New Balance branding pressed onto the heel. So the upper of the 1906R, it sits atop this foam midsole, which I couldn't find what these were officially crafted out of. It's either Absorb or Activa, one of the two. But in either case, it's painted primarily in this pale orange tone. We have this hit of purple underneath the forefoot, and we also have New Balance's Energy technology, which is visible on the lateral heel, and this helps with impact protection and shock absorption. Finally, for the outsole, this is crafted out of different tones of rubber. So we have gum rubber along with red and blue colored rubber, but in terms of the traction pattern, it's exactly the same as any other 1906R. And in the middle, underneath the rubber, we have this TPU shank plate, which is what New Balance calls their stability web technology, and this is there to help with torsional rigidity and midfoot support. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for those wondering about how these fit, so my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I usually wear a size 10 in the 1906R, so that's what I got with this pair. And I have to say they do fit true to size, but they are a little bit more on the snug side. So I feel like if you have a really wide foot, or if you're kind of in between sizes and you don't like a snug fitting shoe, then you could go up half a size. But for the majority of people out there, I feel like going true to size should fit you fine. To give you guys a point of comparison, I also go true to size or a size 10 in other silhouettes like the 2002R, 860 V2, and a lot of made in UK models like the 1500, 991, and 991 V2. Whereas I usually go down to a 9.5 or half size down in a lot of made in USA models like the 992, 993, 990 V3, V4, V5, and V6. Next up in terms of the comfort, so to be honest, I actually felt like these felt a little bit more firm underfoot, especially underneath the forefoot. Like I mentioned earlier in the review portion, I'm not sure if they utilize Absorb or Activa, but there's something about the feeling of this shoe. They just feel slightly more stiff underfoot, and I don't feel as much compression as I normally do for a typical 1906R. It's still a very comfortable shoe. It feels pretty lightweight, pretty breathable, and there is some compression and squishiness underfoot, but to me it just felt like a very minor difference, but it still was a noticeable difference, at least in my opinion. So if you're okay with a shoe that's a little bit more on the firm side, then I think you'll enjoy the comfort of this pair. Finally, in terms of the quality and the overall craftsmanship, so first off, I have to say this feels like more of a sporty version of a 1906R, as they remove a lot of the panels that typically include genuine leathers or suedes. So this being primarily all mesh with TPU overlays, it does feel kind of like a less premium version, but I guess that's just the aesthetic that Action Bronson was going for. But I thought the build of the shoe was perfectly fine. I didn't notice any flaws on my pair at all. The stitch job was good, the paint job was good. It was pretty much free of any glue stains or anything like that. So I was pretty impressed with how these were in person. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up, and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, I know this shoe gets a lot of hate, especially for how the release went down, but I think the colorway of this shoe is absolutely beautiful. I love the tones on this shoe. I know it's not going to be for everyone, but it's just a very vibrant, very colorful sneaker that'll work especially well during the summertime. And in fact, of the three, I gotta say this Rosewater is my favorite, even though it might not necessarily be as limited as the Scorpius, and it's probably not as wearable as the Medusa Azul. I just personally love the color combination on this pair. So leave your thoughts down below. Let me know, what do you guys think about this Action Bronson New Balance 1906R in this Rosewater colorway? Were you lucky enough to grab these for retail on his website? Did you strike out and pick these up on the secondary market? Or you're just not feeling this colorway and it was a pass for you? As usual, if you guys enjoyed this review, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, check me out on X at sean.go spelt out, and visit my website at seango.ca. So thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy this review, and I'll catch all of you in my next video.